Welcome to another edition of 42 Straight Years In. I'm a crackhead update. Lion Willie and his pretty girlfriend came by this morning. We ate breakfast. And we were just sitting here talking. And I still got those true blues. They were sitting on the table. Lion Willie looked out and picked them up. He said, "Man, I haven't seen none of these in a long time." See, when he was at Ramsey, that's what they sold in the commissary. So, he looked at my old lady, he said, "I know what you've been doing for these true blues. I already know. You need to let me check your temperature." That's how him and her talk. Ever since she got used to him, man, they go at each other. So she tell Lion Willie, she said, "What you alluding to?" He said, "You know what I'm talking about. You done had your all checked." She said, "Lion Willie, I get up here and whoop your ass." He said, "You don't look like no frog to me. You feeling froggy? Jump." So the wrestling match was on. That girl is fit. Well, Lion Willie's an old man. He ain't stand a chance against her. Man, they started wrestling here in the living room. They went all the way in the kitchen. She threw his ass down and got the body punching him. That dude couldn't get up for shit. Now, that's what happens when you're in shape and in fit. A person in shape stand a hell of a chance at winning when you physically fit. He couldn't do shit from her, boy. She made him plea bargain. I'm talking about she hitting him with some wicked ass body shots. I seen tears in line with it. I wanted to stop it, but that's how they bullshit with each other. That's the first time I ever seen her take him a full charge. Normally just be a war of words. When he got through, he was out of breath. I was saying to myself, that's what happened when you're not in shape. I mean, she handled his ass. And she weighed 128. He couldn't do a damn thing with her. But she's strong as a motherfucker. She lift weights, she exercised, played tennis, played that bullshit hockey. You're on bicycles, but you got a hockey stick. And she played that shit. She runs. She in good physical shape. That's my crackhead update. Y'all know what it is. Get your shanks out and let's get ready to ride. In my last video, I responded to a commenter. Now, a lot of other YouTubers have told me, "Hey, man, I don't even answer comments." They say they don't even pay attention to the comment section. Now, I'm one of the few guys, at least I acknowledge your comment, but these people will drive you, they always got some bullshit to say. And some of them ain't never been in a fucking prison. Like I had one commenter say, "Everywhere you go, you tend to run into people soliciting you for sex." Now, you can tell this guy, dude, you couldn't even make it in South Dallas. You couldn't even make it over there in the daytime. You damn sure wouldn't make it over there at night. It's a few white people live over there because they got big HUD housing over there. So they live over there for the cheap rent because they own housing. But it's a lot of white chicks be over there. They're all pros. Believe me, she ain't over there freestyling on her own. She got one of them black dudes for an old man. She won't make it over there neither. It's hard in the daytime over there. You damn sure wouldn't go over there at night. I'd love to see you take your car up on Martin Luther King and park it and walk down Home Street. Just walk around. Just walk around at night. Let me see you do it. I guarantee you they're going to bring your ass a full charge. First, they know you in that area. You either want one of them dope fiend whores, or you trying to buy drugs, or you undercover cop. You one of the three. You ain't got no damn business being over there. You don't know nobody live over there. And some of them youngsters approach you, and they got an AK-47 in their hands. Man, who the fuck you know over here, man? What the fuck you doing over here? Let me see you get fly with them and see what's going to happen to your ass. Sometimes I go in the hood. I know people who live over there. How you think these women make money? They approach you. "Hey, man, you want a date?" Yeah, they're going to ask you that. So you in that area, you hang around that environment, you'll get proposition. Number one, you old, they think you're some type of old trick, old sugar daddy. You look like you got money, you dress good, you driving a nice car. Logic dictates that you got some money. And they need money. They got a drug habit. So I don't know what type of environment you live in, but you couldn't even make it in that environment. You take your ass over there, they'll cut your ass a new rug. I guarantee you that. You scary ass black people don't go over there. And damn sure don't go at night. They go in the daytime. And they know somebody over there. You can talk to a lot of black people here in Dallas. Man, hell no, I ain't going in no South Dallas. They're not going over there. And I know you won't go. You might well go. You won't be coming back. You know if they shoot each other like that, you just imagine what they'll do to your ass. But I see why a lot of YouTubers, they don't deal with the people in the comments. They don't even pay attention to it. I be checking their channels out. Man, they don't answer one comment, one question. They don't answer shit. Yeah, the death penalty is definitely not a deterrent to murder. Houston right now is leading the United States in murders. As of this morning, it was 245 murders in Houston. Still got 4 more months to go in this year. They lead Los Angeles, New York, and Chicago is Houston. And this is the death penalty capital of the United States. And it's not deterring anything. I don't, me, myself, my mouth has no filter. I'm not politically correct. Instead of just calling it capital punishment, call it straight up what it is, retribution. I understand why some people say the death penalty is not fair. Man, there's so many guys that's in general population has capital murder, had a death penalty offense. This guy was able to plead guilty. A lot of them plead guilty to avoid the death penalty. Now Texas give a jury the option between life without parole or death. It's either or. So the jury sometimes don't want to give this guy, sentence him to death. They give him life without parole. You still is a walking dead man. After you done exhausted all your appeals, and you not going nowhere. Because now they have the Anti-Terrorist Act. If you wait 10 years to file on your case, they're going to say you are time barred. The claim, I don't care what the claim is. They not going to hear it. They're going to dismiss your writ of habeas corpus. Now, I'll speak on my little partner that's still locked up. Bernadette Devo Lee. And we trying to help this guy. I got a couple more people who trying to help him out. Why you think he's still in prison? He done exhausted all appeals. Now at first this man had a 35-year sentence. He got it overturned on appeal, went back, pissed Dallas County off because he wouldn't plead guilty. They took him for a retrial and gave him life. The man would have been at home because he's been locked up 25 years now. He would be at home. But he don't got outside help. He got a daughter that I talks to occasionally on the phone, but she don't got money. You got to have money. At least on a capital case, no lawyer's talking about 50 grand on up. That's cash, not no payment plan. They want all the money. He don't have that kind of resources. So somebody on the outside has got to file a habeas corpus to present his claim to the court. An outside agency, a church, an innocent project, they all can do it. They're not time barred. But he can't file anything else on this case. He done exhausted all appellate and habeas corpus avenues. All of them been exhausted. And back to the death penalty. If you commit capital murder, why one man rots on death row or receives a lethal injection, the other guy lives in general population? It ain't counting the guys. Sometimes they dismiss the capital count and allow him to plead for murder. That means he's eligible for parole. He'll still have to serve 40 years on that life sentence to be eligible for parole. And depending on your age, you may not see the parole officer. If you're 35 years old and get a life sentence and got to serve 40, you 75 years old when you're eligible. I said eligible. That don't mean you going home. So it don't deter anything. If that was the case, Texas would be the safest state, the safest place in the United States would be Texas. They kill more people on death row with the lethal injection than any other state. But look at all the murders. The largest city in Texas lead the nation in murders. And also Houston has more people on death row than all the cities in Texas. It's Houston. It's not deterring anything. It looked like it's making everything worse. The only way the death penalty would be effective, if you kill somebody today, and I'll just give it be lenient on the time. Within 30 days, we take you through the appeal process and we kill you. It'll be a deterrent then. I'm talking about don't even waste no time bullshit. All these long ass appeals, don't waste no time with that. It'll be a deterrent. But under the present state, these young guys, they don't know shit about no death penalty. They really mad as hell. They thinking with emotion, and they end up shooting some fucking body in a robbery, killing them, and now they facing capital murder. They don't know really the consequences until they get to the county jail, and those guys tell you, first the detective's gonna tell you what you're facing. You gonna say, well, these police officers just bullshit. When you get in the county jail with those guys, you're going to see some of those guys that receive the death penalty or life without parole. And then you'll know the measure of the consequences that you got forthcoming. I've talked to a lot of young guys in prison. They didn't know the crime carries life without parole or life with no parole. It's too damn late now. They got it. Nothing you can do. But to me, if you wanted to punish somebody, I had somebody in the comment section say, well, a guy get used to prison. Sure, you'll get used to it while you still healthy and young. Wait until you 68, 74, 79 years old and rotting in a fucking prison, got arthritis, prostate cancer, all kind of shit is wrong with you. You in a wheelchair. They got a lot of old men in wheelchairs in Texas prison. Got guys there 85 years old. They don't release those guys. They don't give a damn about you. They will allow you to die at that prison. And another thing that'll keep you in prison is that guy's family. They can protest your release. The parole board can decide, hey, we're going to release this guy because he's so old now, he's no longer a threat. His family can say, hell no, we don't want him released. You remain in prison. Now, I've had a lot of people in the comment section say, oh, the reason you was in prison, stayed in there so long, you killed 2 guys. That's bullshit. That ain't the reason why. I made parole when I'd been there 19 years. And I had killed 2 people. I had served served 19 years and made my parole. It wasn't the first parole, that was the 8th parole hearing. I made it. I received a protest. I made it all the way to the prison where they release you at. And they turn around and send my ass back to my prison. So that's bullshit about what you did in prison. That's bullshit. If they gonna release you, they gonna release you. Your disciplinary record don't mean jack shit. Now, all you gotta do is be eligible for parole, a clean disciplinary within 1 year, and you'll come up for parole. Now, you might not make it, but you'll be able to talk to a parole officer. And another trick they'll use, when I work in the warden's office, some of the female parole officers, because a few female parole officers have been assaulted. So they'll leave the door open when they're interviewing a guy. So if something going on in that office, they can holler an immediate response. And I overhear some of the shit they ask the guys in a parole interview. And most of the guys is not prepared to answer these questions. They will ask you, if we release you on parole, what type of contribution would you make to society? All they get is crickets. Guy don't even know how to answer it. Or they ask you this: give me a 90-day, a 6-month, and a 1-year plan if we release you on parole next month. Tell me what you're going to do in the first 90 days, and 6 months, and 1 year later. What are you going to do? What are you planning on being on the outside? They can't answer. They go to mom and, well, my grandma so I could live at her house. And man, that ain't what they want to hear. You got to look at, a lot of these people have sociology degrees. Some of them have criminology degrees. If you got to stick with the script. You do not know how to answer that question. A lot of guys don't. I used to try to coach guys how to talk to them when they go in there. Man, most of them is totally lost. I've seen guys, they gonna grant parole and they talk themselves out of the parole because that parole officer is writing down everything you and her talking about. You know, they judging you on your demeanor, your tone, your hygiene, your truthfulness, because they got all the files there. She already read your record before she called you in there. They'll ask you questions off of your file just to see if you're going to lie. Now, a lot of guys, if you didn't commit the crime, they'll go in there and say, hell, I didn't commit no crime. You ain't never getting out of there. You don't take criminal responsibility for that offense. You got a life sentence. They ain't trying to hear nothing you talk about, especially when you've been convicted of violence. The majority of the violent cases, the murder is unjustified. How you going to justify robbing a man, sticking a gun, a .357 Magnum in his face, scaring him to death, giving him PSTD the rest of his life? How you going to explain that to a parole officer? What was your justification for robbing this man? Oh, I didn't have no money. They answered, hell, you didn't try to work. You got to fail to realize some of these parole officers will pull their damn self. They're in student loan debt. So that ain't going to fly with them. But current murder rate all over the United States, there's no law being passed that's beneficial to convicts. Not in the state of Texas. They not passing not one damn law that can help guys incarcerated. Not one law has been passed to help no inmate. Also, on the 1st of September, all you guys who buy SEX, that will be a felony in the state of Texas. Now, the woman will get a misdemeanor. The female gets a misdemeanor. The man gets a felony. So there's going to be a lot of people in jail for solicitation or prostitution. A lot of guys are going to get those cases. I was just over I live in East Dallas, all over on Carroll. I was looking at a couple pretty white chicks. They were standing there trying to pick up a trick. I was saying to myself, after September the 1st, there was a police sitting right over there in the car just looking. He didn't say nothing to him. And a car pulled up. One of them jumped in the car and drove off. Another car came up. She got in the car and drove off. I'm saying, okay, September the 1st, he going to get right behind you and turn them damn lights on. And both of y'all are going to jail. They know these are well-known prostitutes. Every time I go over there on Carroll, I see these white chicks standing out there. And everybody know what they standing there for. They standing there looking pretty, playing with their hair, or faking like they talking on their phone. They waiting on a trick to show up. After September 1st in this state, that will be a felony. So a person got to keep up with the new laws or it's easy to get caught up. You can destroy your whole life behind dealing with this lady making a transaction. Lose your job. If you married, lose your wife. Lose everything. Sometimes you go to jail. How you going to keep your car payment up, your insurance, you lose everything behind something that's simple. The oldest profession in the history of mankind. This state has made it a felony, but only for the male. Females still get away. That seems ironic. Seems like it should apply to both, but no, it's only the male that gets the felony. Also, this state, September 1st, you don't need a license for the gun. If you're eligible to have a gun, anybody can have one with no license required. So there's going to be a lot of fools going to run up on people and going to get the shit shot of them trying to snatch their phone and all that other shit. They're going to get the hell shot out of them. I think I'm going to go over to Oak Cliff for a little while and hang out with the fellas. Y'all know what it is. I just left for Kroger's, and there was an old ass dude there by a stop sign looking in the grass. Man, I said, man, does this man work for the city of Dallas? Is he cleaning around the stop sign? Man, he was looking, digging all off in the ground, picking up every little thing he see, looking at it. Hey, they out here fiending. Y'all better be ready for these clowns. Y'all follow me over on Patreon, like and subscribe, and I thank you for watching.